Well, 1987 Wimbledon men's singles champion Pat Cash is back in the spotlight with a new venture, his own CBD product range. He's a major proponent of medicinal cannabis and plans to lobby the Australian government to make it more widely available to people who may need it. Let's welcome to AusBiz former tennis champion Pat Cash. Pat, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So, look, you've got a storied career as an elite athlete. Talk us first, as a top tennis player, what sort of toll does that take on your body?
Well, that's exactly right. It's 40 plus years of professional tennis. I've been traveling the world, and the toll on the body is pretty extreme. I don't think there's too many tennis players who get out without some surgeries or a handful of surgeries. It's been an interesting journey. The thing about I've had plenty of injuries throughout my career. And I've been able to run into so many people in the health industry and have tried just about everything from acupuncture to special energy rooms where you sit in and everything in between, all sorts of vitamins and supplements. And it sort of occurred to me that I know an awful lot about healing without being sort of a qualified doctor or whatever in some genre, but we decided that we can start up a health range, and it's more than a health range, it's really a health company. So we looked at what CBD could do. CBD sort of ticked every box for our first part of the range, and it's a bit of a risk because cannabis is sort of it was a dirty word. It's not becoming it's not a dirty word anymore, it's in certain extents it's legal for the tennis professionals as well, but as an athlete who's had loads of injuries, loads of stress, and struggled to sleep, it was like what's going to work? It was like, right, cannabis, CBD oils and things was just ticked every box for us.
How were you actually introduced to it?
Well, I'm trying to get some sleep actually, and pain killing. I've just had my 7th right knee surgery. Just the wear and tear of the tennis world, and what I put my body through. There's the knee there. Funny enough, and that was years ago. Pain relief. And so there's different strains. The thing once we got into learning about CBD and cannabis, and there's two different elements of cannabis. There's the marijuana, and then there's the hemp. And the marijuana is one that can give a lot of medical relief to people who are stressed, to pain. And the hemp has all that without the intoxicating qualities of it, so you don't get the euphoria, the high, or whatever, or be stoned, which is sort of given it a bad name, but in some parts.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? It's the 0 THC, so that's the psychoactive compound. So none of that there. It's purely the medicinal part of it.
Yeah, well, that is for a professional athlete you have that because they test on it, and so we wanted to come up and create something for the athletes initially with all sorts of anti-inflammatory properties in it, but we also want the athletes want to get to sleep. So we won't have any THC in that product, but in the range at some stage we're very open to having that because it actually helps you sleep. And the anxiety levels that the people who have chronic problems with sleeping and pain are going through the roof, and the anxiety levels after the pandemic is quite extreme. What we're seeing in younger people and older people too, and they need some help. And it's not always opioids, it's not always prescription, and it's clear that the prescriptions in Australia, of course, you need prescriptions from the practitioners to get the products. Now, even if it doesn't have any THC, you still need a prescription for it, which kind of makes no sense, but that's the way the Australian government go, and we'd like to see that change. And I want this available, not much my product, but for everybody, for pain relief, anxiety, and all the things that the CBD is great for.
Yeah, because I was saying there at the beginning that so you're seeking to lobby the Australian government over that very issue, just to make it more readily available.
Well, I think we need to lobby a lot of places. I'm based in Europe mainly. We're launching first in Europe, but the UK have the similar sort of issues, and so does the US. But I think that now that the knowledge is out there, I think the government should get a better understanding of the fact that, hey, one is nothing but pure health, and We're talking about thousands of years of using hemp. The other one, okay, it's a great relief. You get high. You shouldn't be driving a car when you're having that. That's pretty clear. But it has incredible medicinal properties to it, and it probably needs to get a better clarity around that issue for a lot of countries around the world. All
right. So tell us the effect it's had on you. What sort of relief has it provided you?
Well, there's a certain strain called CBDA, which I'm a big fan of. There's CBD, CBDA, B, C, D, E, F, it goes on. CBDA is basically that cannabis plant. It's a young plant. It's a hemp side of it, so it doesn't have the THC. It has the same properties as aspirin does. It affects the receptors in the brain the same way as aspirin does. So I just had my 7th knee surgery. They said, take these painkillers for the next couple of weeks. I went, no, I'm just going to try the CBDA. And boom, it was at the same result. And so that gave great relief. And that will give relief to a lot of the chronic sufferers out there. Now, CBDG is a really good one for relaxation, for depression, for anxiety, something that I've suffered quite severely over my lifetime, but not so much in recent years. So there's the compounds are quite phenomenal, and the things that you can put with them, such as anti-inflammatory properties, lemon balm, lavender to help you sleep. So that's for the people who don't want THC. If you want THC, and the doctor prescribes it, then you're more than welcome to have that. But
well, in fact, you come up with your own range. So just talk us through what you have on offer then.
Well, the Active Relief is the anti-inflammatory one. That's the one on the left, and we put a couple of properties in the curcumin and chili. Curcumin is really great for anti-inflammatory for joints, and then we go down to have Bliss, which is the one that helps you sleep. So that has lavender and lemon balm, and Life Lifter is CBD with a flavour. That has the CBD and the CBGG. So they all work in different ways. So for instance, the Life Lifter, that'll be something I would wake up in the morning and wake up, a bit stiff. I would take some drops. There's certain things you can and can't say, but I take them under my tongue. I take a few drops and off I go. I'm not, I'm not getting stoned. I can function absolutely perfectly. I can go play tennis. I can do whatever I want to do. And that's the start of the day. When I go to be active, I'll go to the Active Relief, and that will help me with the anti-inflammatory, help me recover. And we're seeing athletes lining up for this. We're seeing athletes line up time and time again throughout tennis, through different sports, to say, you know what, this anti-inflammatory, these pills that were giving me a rotting my stomach, I don't want any more of those. I don't want any more sleeping pills. And so and we're seeing the prescriptions go absolutely through the roof. The practitioners who are able to prescribe it have gone from just a few hundred a couple of years ago to, I think it's just about 4,000 here in Australia, the practitioners probably by the end of this year. There is a huge need for it. The practitioners understand that cannabis is not a dirty word anymore. It's natural, and that's why we're seeing a massive boom in the industry. And I want to be part of that. Of course, naturally, it's something that's worked for me. This is just, I said, one part of the health company.
You talk about what it offers for athletes, particularly elite athletes, both physically and also mentally. Is there some wariness though? I mean, we know you don't have to look at the Essendon supplement saga, that a lot of athletes would be really cautious about going down this path. So you're saying it is 100% safe, the legality of it, the regulatory, it satisfies all those requirements.
Well, here in Australia, you have to get a prescription for it. But if you're drug tested by WADA, which is the governing body, or one of the bodies that each country has, you cannot have any THC in it. The maximum you can have is 0.03. So that range that I've got there, that is in full line with that. It's based the company's in Poland. They have all the organic ticks. With the years that I've done on research in this, I've found the best products in the world.
Yeah, what sort of research and development have you done? What sort of effort have you put in?
Well, I've travelled all over the world and seen factories. I got sick of putting hats on and all sorts of stuff to go through the various factories and check out the procedures and the processes. And this is, it's not some guy in his backyard who's just pulled some cannabis off the thing and is juicing it. This is incredibly technical, yeah, some of the best people in the world are in Poland, the US, and Canada. Sort of the three major ones. We're using the Polish one, but we are very excited about looking into Australia. So, having come here for the tennis,
yeah,
and been travelling around talking to people, getting an understanding of the regulations, and the regulations in Australia are probably tightest of anywhere in the world. And where can it be grown, where can it be imported, various things like that. And so we're looking at really having somebody to, in a way, hold our hand here in Australia, because it is a growing market. It is probably the fastest growing cannabis market in the world, Australia. And we'd love to, somebody to partner with us in that aspect. And so that's part of my duties while I'm here.
When are you planning to launch? Do you have a timeline?
Soon,
Right.
But we'll know on the Cash CBD. If anybody wants to go on there, they can find all the data from researchers, scientific research. We put all that on there. So anybody's curious about what it can help, and it goes everywhere from a bit of anxiety or right down to people who have fits, epileptic fits, and various things like that. So it's very well known, and I think people, the doctors and the people are understanding that this is a great alternative to just popping pills.